The arrest of a notable journalist, Pidom Nigeria, or you can call him Isaac Bristol, sent shivers down the spines of Nigerians. Nigerians were literally shaking when they heard that they arrested this investigative journalist. I would not lie. In all my lifetime, there are only three times I've felt like this. First time was when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. I felt degenerated. I felt like all hope has been lost when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. The second time I felt the same way was when they announced President Bola Ahmed Tinubu winner in the wee hours of the morning. You can see the cold that came upon Nigeria and Nigerians that day. You can see the disdain. You can see Nigerians felt so bad. So I've never felt so bad like that until I heard that Pidom Nigeria, aka Isaac Bristol, an investigative journalist, was arrested, or he's nowhere to be found. The allegations was that he is nowhere to be found, and he may have been arrested by the Nigerian government. If you see how people were shedding tears, if you see how people felt so sad, I could not do any broadcast. I could not say anything, because these guys are literally heroes. You can talk of David Hunden, you can talk of Fisayo Shombo, you can talk of Adeyanju. Let me also call Shore. These are the guys that are standing for the people. The government have left the people. Pidom Nigeria, if you don't know him, is an investigative journalist. He has exposed the government, and some of the classified documents he exposed made the people, the Nigerian people, love him, and he became a terror to the government in power. How the police were going to deal with the end bad governance protesters. Pidom Nigeria leaked the police documents that led to the arrest, or that led to the manhandling and arrest of end bad governance protesters. Beforehand, he reveals classified documents that have become a threat to the sovereignty, to the Nigerian government. He's somebody that if he releases any information, it is as good as 100% accurate. He has never missed. He has never missed. Every other journalist, investigative journalist, may have missed their mark, but this guy has been consistent, constant, and he has won the hearts of Nigerians. He becomes the opium of the masses. Pidom Nigeria is what Awolowo is to the Yoruba people. Pidom Nigeria is what Nnamdi Kanu Ojukwu is to the Igbo people. Pidom Nigeria is what Usman Danfodio is to the Fulani, Ahmadu Bello is to the Northerners. Nigerians have no one that speaks for them, that they can trust, they can put their faith, except these guys. So when we heard that he was arrested, it was a very sad day in the history of Nigeria. We got wind of the fact that since the 5th of August, he has disappeared. And somehow, according to FIG, Fisayo Shombo, he says 15 policemen, not less than 15 policemen, broke into his house and abducted him, or took him, according to the report. They took him to FCID. They put him in solitary confinement for 6 days. He was handcuffed and put in a hole. He stayed in solitary confinement. So he's been treated like a war criminal, a journalist that is exposing the ills of the government, exposing the actions of the government that is detriment to the lives of the people, is being put or treated like a war criminal of the same government, a democratically elected government, a democracy. We are not in military regime. Afterwards, we thank God that he is alive and well. So we breathe a sigh of relief. And the lessons we are learning every day is that we are now fully recognizing where we are. We know where we are and where we stand. We know the kind of people that are in power, so that we are now wiser how to deal with these people in power. Because the best of us and those that have us at heart, those that are fighting for the masses, they are the target of these people, and you can never excuse them for good people. These are wicked, conscienceless, and they are not human beings called our leaders. Imagine the worst thing that is going to happen to this country is that if you kill free speech, if you persecute journalists that are doing their job. When he was arrested, there are documents that in relation to some of the charges against him, they called it cyber fraud. They did not mention that he revealed classified document, so they are charging him for cyber fraud. That is how Nnamdi Kanu's case, they have not been able to win in court. There's no evidence that they can hold against Nnamdi Kanu as we speak, or the court cannot demystify, cannot prove that Nnamdi Kanu is guilty so far. I was so downcasted. I could not say anything when I heard of the news. But we thank God that PDOM Nigeria, aka Isaac Bristol, is alive and well, and he will be arraigned in court according to the report we're getting. He will be arraigned in court. Thanks to David Hundeyin, a very smart journalist, one that I admire, how he played the authorities to reveal the identity or where this guy is. If not, according to a report in the Southeast, the Nigerian military are fond of making people disappear without traces. There are cries that people are disappearing and disappearing, nowhere to be found. They cannot be traced. Thank God, if not for David Hundeyin that played a fast one on the system, and the system had to be forced to reveal his location and his identity. Isaac Bristol, aka PDOM Nigeria, is one journalist that every journalist wants to be like. Every investigative journalist wants to be like. One of the reasons I did not venture into such kind of journalism, whereby you are a direct threat to the state. Remember, every investigative journalist is supposed to be a direct threat to the state. That is their fate. I pray that he is in high spirits, and when they take them to the court, let's see how this all pans out. He exposed the owner of Ife, a kind of fraud. He accused the owner of Ife of committing fraud, and I believe that the last investigation he did on the owner of Ife may have led to his abduction or arrest by the Nigerian government. He brought evidences. He was not just talking without evidences. So anybody accusing PDOM Nigeria of bringing out this information, misinformation, should bring out his or her claims in black and white. The court is there. Let's see how far the DSS, FCID, whoever that is prosecuting him, let's see how far they put out allegations against him. And we are understanding politics day by day. In fact, it is a good time to be alive if you're a politician or if you're a political science student. Like I said, I want to be a politician, and I'm very happy that there are some things we are learning from this government, things that we should not do as politicians, as people that are going to stand for the masses. We should not do. Imagine a government, a democratic government, being seen as to be worse than a military government. And one thing these people don't know is that if you bring down a PDOM Nigeria today, many investigative journalists they are going to rise from the ashes. Many investigative journalists, they are going to rise. In fact, when you bring down a hero, you make him more popular, and it's going to inspire other people to do more. Look at what happened to Nnamdi Kanu. Arresting Nnamdi Kanu, they thought that that would be the end of the agitation, but instead, the agitation is taking another dimension. Look at what Samuel Ekpa is causing in the Southeast. Look at how he's giving them woto in the Southeast. Nnamdi Kanu did not do like this, but because they thought that bringing down or incarcerating Nnamdi Kanu will lead to the end of Biafra, They never knew, or they are reluctant to accept it, that bringing down a person that is loved by the people will warrant rising up. He will raise, his spirit will raise many others like him. No matter what you do, you cannot defeat good. Even though we have 1,000 evil and just one good, that one good is going to defeat 1,000 evil. So if you're a Nigerian and you love what PDOM Nigeria is doing, standing up for the masses, how he was so effective during the protest, how he supported the protesters, and how he was able to go through and bring emotional support to Nigerians. Nigerians even saw him as their savior. This PDOM Nigeria. Nigerians saw him as one person that they could rely on when it comes to information, and somebody who at that level is on their side. It's so disheartening that Nigerians don't see the government as one that is representing them, as their leader. They see the government as enemies. They see the police as enemies. They see the military as enemies. They see INEC as enemies. They see the judiciary as enemies. It's so disheartening that it is just this young journalists that Nigerians are seeing as their savior. Like I said, who Awolowo is to the Yoruba people, that is how PDOM Nigeria is to the Nigerian person, an average Nigerian that love equity, fairness, and justice. For the fact that he is in Nigeria leaking classified documents against the government, which the government does not like, show you how brave this guy is and how technical this guy is. However, they were able to get him. We'll do that in another broadcast. How the Nigerian government were able to get this guy and arrest this guy. How the Nigerian government were able to arrest this popular investigative journalist. The testimony of Isaac Bristol, he said the police broke into his house and abducted him. He said they came like armed robbers. They were dressed in mufti. About 15 policemen, they broke in and dragged him away like a criminal. They threw him in a hole somewhere in an anti-kidnapping unit of the police. There, they denied him food, water, and access to other human beings. He was in solitary confinement for at least 6 days, and they kept handcuffs on him throughout. Yes, he showed his wrists. They were bruised from wearing handcuffs for that long. They did not allow him access to a lawyer or family members. They said he saw the lawyers also said that they saw him in the same clothes the police abducted him in. The microblogger had worn the same piece of clothing. The investigative journalist had worn the same piece of clothing for the past 18 days. Now, the police is demanding 2 levels 16 civil servants who owned landed property worth at least 500 million naira in Abuja as sorties for Isaac's bail. The conditions for his release are stringent. Reporters learned that the police are set to charge him to court on Monday. But they called the police on Friday afternoon. That is the police force public relations officer, Muyiwa Adejobi, and he said that he was unaware of the matter. So Adejobi promised to get back to the newspaper or to the reporters as of press time, but he had not. This is how the police roll in Nigeria. You can see the testimony of Isaac Bristol, aka PDOM Nigeria. You can say anything, you can do anything, but we are in a time whereby we need to get prepared for the worst. We get prepared for whatever that is coming. If you believe in anything, believe in that thing strongly. Stand, believe in that thing, and make sure you are willing to sacrifice a lot for that thing you believe in. Because if you are unable to cause harm, to evil, you cannot go far. If you are afraid to cause harm to evil, you cannot sit down and allow evil operate. You must be able and ready to make sure you inflict harm on evil. We thank God that PDOM Nigeria is alive, and it is one of the greatest news that we are hearing today.